October cattails releasing all their fluff. Grandma catching it and said she had enough. For the pillow she was making from the ticking white, best natural pillow for the winter night. Said the cattail fluff is warmer than the store, and softer than the feather by a little more. Cattail fluff, pile of Easter soft against the head, best natural stuffing for the country bed. Cattail fluff, pillow-free Martian ticking so, best free comfort on the winter road. Whoa, then best free comfort on the winter road. She'd gather it in bags before the wind came up. Said the fluff goes everywhere if you interrupt the timing of the picking by a day or two. Said the cattail tells you exactly when to do. Poured it in the ticking and she stitched it up. Best pillow in the county for the winter cup. Said the cattail fluff, pile of Easter soft against the head, best natural stuffing for the country bed. Cattail fluff, pillow-free Martian ticking sewed, best free comfort on the winter road. Whoa, and best free comfort on the winter road. Marsh provides if you know its calendar well. And the cattail fluff in October is the spell of warmth against the coming winter night. Said the marsh made something of the fading light. Cattail fluff, pillow-free Martian ticking sewed, best free comfort on the winter road. Whoa, and best free comfort on the winter road. Just her mother called the cattle home with songs, said hollering and singing all along the same tune every evening at the gate. The cattle knew the song and wouldn't be late. Said she sang them out and sang them back below. Best cattle management in any show, singing the cattle home with these gradations, singing the Pleasant Stand tune every night. Cattle coming in from the fading light, singing the cattle home release. They know the song better than a bell for getting home along. The tune was just a real redemption's falling thing, but every cow and calf knew what it'd bring. Said the brown one always came in first because she was closest to the barn and to the cause. The song connected grandmother to the herd, a daily conversation in a bird, singing the cattle home reversion, same tune every night. Cattle coming in from the fading light, singing the cattle home babies. They know the song better than a bell for getting home along. Just mother past the cattle stood at the gate that evening like they understood. The granddaughter tried the song and every head turned toward the sound and slowly came ahead, singing the cattle home reversion, same tune every night. Cattle coming in from the fading light, singing the cattle home revies. They know the song better than a bell for getting home along. Fence viewer came in April every year, said the law required the borders to be cleared. Walked the property lines between the farms below, making sure each neighbor's fence was in the show. Old tradition going back past memory, said the fence viewer is the county's referee. Fence viewer, they read this and they walk in every line, making sure the boundaries are fine. Fence viewer, they read this and they property and pride, every neighbor knowing what's on either side. Could write it in a book with the township name, said both neighbors have to sign the same. If the fence is good or say what's needed done, best county record from the rising sun. Settle more disputes than any judge could do, said two neighbors and a fence viewer make it through. Fence viewer, they read this and they walk in every line, making sure the boundaries are fine. Fence viewer, they read this and they property and pride, every neighbor knowing what's on either side. Fence viewer positions most are gone today, but the principle behind it has its say. That boundaries respected and agreed, keep the peace between the farm and creed. Fence viewer day reducing the walking every line, making sure the boundaries are fine. Fence viewer day reducing the property and pride, every neighbor knowing what's on either side. Grandma twisted corn shucks into a collar fine. Best harvest craft along the county line. Draft horse collar braided from the August husk. Said it works for dress funner from the dawn to dusk. Children wearing them like kings and queens around. Best harvest costume that was ever found. Corn shuck collar braided from the husk. Harvest crown for children, dust to dust. Corn shuck collar royalty for free. Best September costume on the property. Mom Belen's complexion to you on the fair's review. She'd make them in an hour by the fire at night. Soak the husks and braid them and they'd hold upright. Every grandchild got to be the harvest king. Said the shuck collar meant the celebrating. My sister wore hers till it fell apart. Said the corn shuck collar is a piece of art. Corn shuck collar braided from the husk. Harvest crown for children, dust to dust. Corn shuck collar royalty for free. Best September costume on the property. The harvest makes a kingdom for a day or two. When the work is done and the play comes through, a corn shuck collar on a child's neck makes the whole September worth the check. Corn shuck collar royalty for free. Best September costume on the property. Corn shuck collar royalty for free. Best September costume on the property. The county line runs down the middle of the road, they say. Best abiding stripe since before my day. Left side of the road's one county clear. Right side was the next for 60 years. Daddy straddled the line just to aggravate. Said I'm in two places going to the gate through county line, road of vibes, middle of a lane. Best gene you got for joke on the county plain. County line, road of vibes, two places in one. Best smallest station under the sun. A Venus deflection. Taxmen from two counties came to argue once about which side the old farm stood and dunce. Daddy showed him where the survey pin was set. Said the barn is mine and you ain't seen me yet. Sign on the gate said welcome to both sides. Said the county line is where my humor hides. County line, road of life, middle of the lane. Best cheese, you drive a joke on the county plain. County line, road of vibes, two places in one. Best smallest station under the sun. Said when I die, just bury me right here, halfway between the two, so it's not clear which county gets the credit for my plot. Said ambiguity is all I've got. County line, road of vibes, middle of the lane. Best cheat, you grab a joke on the county plain. County line, road of vibes, two places in one. Best small station under the sun. I'll be honest to clay. Kids ride in the split rail fence in the afternoon. Best balance practice underneath the June moon. Said the fence is not for riding, Mom would say. but we'd be back up on the rail by the next day. The old chestnut rails run smooth from years of hand. Best playground equipment on this land. Rail fence rider, revive a song a rail. Best afternoon activity without fail. Hey! Rail fence rider, defy songs out to the side. County's finest, balance in the countryside. The trick was walking backward on the narrow top. Said one misstep and off the rail you drop into the pasture soft on the other side. Nothing hurt but the temporary pride. Daddy watched us from the porch and said no word. Said the rail fence riders were the finest he heard. Ho! Rail fence rider, we defy songs out to the side. County's finest, balance in the countryside. A child who learns to balance on a rail has learned something that goes beyond the tale of childhood on a farm in the summer heat. Balance is a lesson you repeat. Rail fence rider, we defy songs out to the side. County's finest, balance in the countryside. Well, a lantern hanging on the Fodder Barn hook. Best light source in the county if you look. Said electricity came lake to this hollow ground. We ran the lantern for 10 years around. After the neighbors had the power on, said the lantern gave a warmer kind of dawn. Fodder Barn's barn lantern, the bars you'd see amber in the beam. Best light source before the power drain. Best endeavor Dan cobble crane. Fodder Barn lantern, brief sands, amber in the beam, amber in the beam, and the wick at morn. So the evening's clear, said a smoky lantern means the wick's too near the top of the chimney and you need to cut. Best maintenance for the barn's lid rut. Daddy'd carry it from stall to stall each night. Said the animals settle better in the light. Fodder Barn lantern, brief sands, amber in the beam, amber in the beam, amber in the beam. Best light source before the power dream. Fodder Barn lantern, brief sands, hook beside the door, lighting up the evening shores and more. The barn kept the lantern long after the power cans of the electric light in the barn was bright and plain. But the lantern in the corner by the stall still hangs there for the memories of all. Fodder Barn lantern, brief sands, amber in the beam, amber in the beam, amber's light source before the power dream. Fodder Barn lantern, brief sands, hook beside the door, lighting up the evening shores and more.
Oh, mill ponds breathing still in the July heat. Best swimming hole this county's going to meet. Said the miller let the children swim on Saturday, long as the machinery was put away. Jump from the spillway and let the current take. Best summer cool and let the children make. In mill pond swimming reap spillway in the sun. Best summer afternoon when the mill's not run. Mill pond swimming reaps green and cool and deep. Best county swimming hole the children keep. Grove in Siskel, the pond was 8 feet deep beside the dam below. Said don't touch the bottom where the cold seeps go. The miller's wife would watch from the porch above. Said she'd watch 3 generations of love. Children in that mill pond since her wedding day. Said the swimming tradition wouldn't go away. Mill pond swimming reap spillway in the sun. That summer afternoon when the mill's not run. Mill pond swimming reaps green and cool and deep. Best county swimming hole the children keep. The mill is gone and the pond is mostly silted in. But every summer, when the heat begins, old people drive the road and park and say, I used to swim that mill pond in my day. Mill ponds when it reaps spill away in the sun. That summer afternoon when the mill's not run. Mill ponds when it reaps green and cool and deep. Best county swimming hole the children keep.
Good Friday planting is the county's road below. Said the potato goes in when the moon is so. In the waning gold quarter on the underground sign. That's the old tree drop planting calendar blind. Daddy cut the seed potatoes with the eye. Said every eye needs to face toward the sky. Potato Hill planting the cups and Good Friday in the ground. Best old tree drop planting calendar around. Potato Hill planting the gups and Zion the hill. Every spring the same tradition filled. Almond the soil above the sea just right. Said the hill keeps the water from the blight that would rot the potato when the standing wet. Said the drainage is the thing you never forget. Hold the hills again when the vine comes true. Said the potato hill is the thing you do. Potato Hill planting the gups and Good Friday in the ground. Best old tree drop planting calendar around. Potato Hill planting the gups and Zion the hill. Every spring the same tradition filled. The moon calendar and the religious date coming together at the garden gate. Said the Lord and the moon both understand what the potato needs from this land. Potato Hill planting the gups and Good Friday in the ground. Best old tree drop planting calendar around. Potato Hill planting the gups and Zion the hill. Every spring the same tradition filled. Yep. Old smokehouse, so dark and cold. Behind the barn out back, cousin swore he saw a shape inside the black. Said the old smoke has a memory in the wall of every hog and winter that recall. Grandma said don't be foolish nor a fast, that's a Himalayan. Said the shadow that you see is what I am. The smokehouse ghost of smoke and memory, best haunting any hollow going to see. Smokehouse ghost of her shadow in the dark. Hickory smoke and history leave their mark. The old wood holds a smell of 40 years of cure. Said you can't build a new smokehouse quite as pure. The smoke has seasoned every board inside. Said the ghost is just the years that reside. On a cold October morning when the mist was low, the smokehouse looked like something from below. Smokehouse ghost of smoke and memory, best haunting any hollow going to see. Smokehouse ghost ivory shadow in the dark. Hickory smoke and history leave their mark. Hey! Every old place holds the lives that filled it through. The smokehouse is just a residue of all the seasons and the people there. Said it's not a ghost, it's just a past in the air. Smokehouse ghost of smoke and memory, best haunting any hollow going to see. Smokehouse ghost ivory shadow in the dark. Hickory smoke and history leave their mark. plank laid across two stumps beneath the walnut tree. Best outdoor seating cold that could ever be. For free, Grandpa put it there in 1940. This rips in, said the walnut shade is all the summer needs to do. Every evening he would go and sit below. Said the walnut knows the things I need to know. Walnut Tree Bench, read these plank across the stump. Best outdoor thinking through the summer slump. Walnut Tree Bench, read these shade and the cool below. Oh yo, best CTF underneath the walnut show. Rope a night a decade old. The bench outlasted Grandpa by a decade long. Said the plank kept sitting under the walnut song. I found it one September when the whole bows came down. Said the bench is still the best seat in this town. Sat there for an hour with the walnuts falling round. Best communion with the grandfather found. Walnut Tree Bench, read these plank across the stump. Best outdoor thinking through the summer slump. Walnut Tree Bench, read these shade and the cool below. Oh yeah, best CTF underneath the walnut show. Said the walnut tree is slow to leaf in spring. Last tree to wake up from its slumbering. But under it in July, when the shade is full, is the finest thinking spot above the pool. Walnut Tree Bench, read these plank across the stump. Best outdoor thinking through the summer slump. Walnut Tree Bench, read these shade and the cool below. Oh yeah, best CTF underneath the walnut show. On the ridge above the hollow stands a place, wooden markers and the card names in each space. Coon dogs buried where the hunters laid them down. Best memorial in any county town. Said a good coon dog deserves his honor ground, same as any person that was ever found. Coon Dog Cemetery, read lost carved name in the wood. Honor rich and name in the wood, honoring the partners like a neighbor should. Oh, Blue buried there in 60 fart fall saying, said he'd treat more coons than any dog at all. Daddy took his hat off at the marker stone. Said that dog was never once alone in the field or by the fire or on the trail. Said a coon dog's life is a successful tale. Coon Dog Cemetery, read lost carved name in the wood. Hummer rich and name in the wood, honoring the partners like a neighbor should. For a dog, but a man who'd walk with you through the midnight fall and bathe the tree and never once complain deserves his name carved in the ridge domain. Coon Dog Cemetery, revive carved name in the wood, honoring the potters like a neighbor should. Coon Dog Cemetery, revive carved name in the wood, honoring the partners like a neighbor should. Morning, Rivers feeds corn to the brine. Best livestock feed for the body and the mind. Hammer mill grinding in the feed barn every dawn. Corn in the cob, together going on. Best livestock feed this county ever ground. Whole grain and the whole in the fine surround. Grandpa running for the chores began. Said the feed comes first before the morning plan. Have a mill morning, Rivers feeds corn into the grind. Best livestock feed for the body and the mind. Have a mill morning, whole grain going through. Cattle and the hogs and the chickens too. Whole grain ration kept the animals right. Said a good feed ration means a good night. No mistering ingredient from the factory floor. Just a corny brew and bird and nothing more. Adjusted by season and by need below. Said you learn the animals if you watch them go. Hammermill morning, harvest these corn into the brine. Best livestock feed for the body and the mind. Hammermill morning, whole grain going through. Cattle in the hogs and the chickens too. Knowing what your animals are eating clear is the oldest farmer's knowledge of the year. Grind your own and know your own in feed. That's the Hammermill morning, and it's green. Hammermill morning, harvest these corn into the brine. Best livestock feed for the body and the mind. Hammermill morning, whole grain going through. Cattle in the hogs and the chickens too. Yonder in the Paw Paw patch we go. September calling from the bottom land below, where the Paw Paw grows in clusters on the tree. That September morning that her body's free. Grandma's singing as she filled her basket high. Said singing to the pop dolls you walk on by. Paw Paw picking song reeds, singing as they go. Way down in the bottom where the wild ones grow. Paw Paw picking song reeds, fill the basket up. Sweet as September in the county cup. Oh, 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 Paw Paw. Be cool, oh, 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 Paw Paw, oh. The old song had no author anyone could name, just the tune that always been the same. When the family headed to the bottomlands round, said the Paw Paw song go is the patch's calling sound. Every generation adding their own verse. Said the song gets better in the universe. Paw Paw picking some reeds, singing as we go. Way down in the bottom where the wild ones grow. Paw Paw picking some reeds, fill the basket up. Sweet as September in the county cup. Oh, 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 oh. Be cool, oh, 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 oh. A song made for a place belongs to that place alone. The Paw Paw song was never written down or known. Outside the family, walking to the tree. It lives inside the bottom, wild and free. Paw Paw picking some reeds, singing as we go. Way down in the bottom where the wild ones grow. Paw Paw picking some reeds, fill the basket up. Sweet as September in the county cup. Oh, 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 oh. First time I held a chainsaw, Daddy stood right near. Said before you cut a thing, you read the timber clear. Every dead branch hanging in the canopy above is waiting for the vibration of a shove. Walk the timber, see, look up first and then below. Said a logger who looks up is one who goes. We don't make a lesson here outside above the saw. Best safety teaching any logger saw. We don't make a lesson here outside the timber speaks its truth. Read the canopy from your standing youth. Before instantly 40 see the sunburst, speed me see the spurty herd keeps showing me every kind of hang you lean and bind. Said the tree will tell you what it has in mind. Said a tree that leans is loading on the hinge. Said this fax cut has to keep you off the fringe. Spent 2 hours reading trees before the first cut fell. Said the lesson can be from the will. We don't make a lesson here outside above the saw. Best safety teaching any logger saw. We don't make a lesson here outside the timber speaks its truth. Read the canopy from your standing youth. Every man who works the timber comes to know the silent language of the canopy below. What the dead wood and the lean are trying to say. Read it first and live to cut another day. We don't make a lesson here outside above the saw. Best safety teaching any logger saw. Listen here, Oxford timber speaks its truth. Read the canopy from your standing youth. Wild honeybees going in and out the air. Grandpa found it on the deer trail in the wood. Said we'll let them be just like a neighbor should. Took the honey once in 7 years of a run. Said the bee tree gives its surplus to the one. Bee tree hollow with our eyes and buzzing in the oak. Best honey source the county's ever spoke. Bee tree hollow with our eyes and buzzing in the grain. Wild sweetness in the hollow once again. The opening was high enough you had to climb. Grandpa went up every 7 years' time. Smoked and gentle with the rotten wood below. Said the wild bee is respectful if you're slow. Took a portion and left more than half behind. Best the partnership of the sweetest kind. Bee tree hollow with our eyes and buzzing in the grain. Wild sweetness in the hollow once again. A bee tree is a gift that keeps on giving long. If the one who finds it treats the gift as song. Takes no more than what the surplus gives, and leaves enough for what the wild bee lives. Bee tree hollow with our eyes them buzzing in the grain. Wild sweetness in the hollow once again. Bee tree hollow with our eyes them buzzing in the grain. Wild sweetness in the hollow once again. Purple mulberry fingers at the Sunday supper stand. Said you picked the berries with your own stained hand. Mama made the pie crust out by lard and coal. And purple mulberry pie is better than I'm told. And double crust the sugar in the purple thick. Best Sunday dessert any June could pick. Mulberry pie Sunday, the Iva's fingers and stain. Worth every purple mark upon the lane. Best June dessert this family could create. Mulberry pie Sunday, the Iva's fingers and the stain. Worth every purple mark upon the lane. Farms of Flecker's poo there, these filling cooked down thicker than the struggle then got tired. The wild mulberry has a depth when arrives, something the commercial berry never gets. He said the free pie is the one nobody forgets. Cut it woman, let the purple run below. Best Sunday evening in the summer show. Mulberry pie Sunday, the Iva's fingers and stain. Worth every purple mark upon the lane. Best June dessert this family could create. Mulberry pie Sunday, the Iva's fingers and the stain. Worth every purple mark upon the lane. Every July the mulberry tree gives up its load. Without a bill and without a county code. Just the purple dropping for the taking there. Best free pie filling floating in the air. Mulberry pie Sunday, the Iva's fingers and stain. Worth every purple mark upon the lane. Corn silk teary blue, speak nothing going to waste. Old Trotter Berry, medicine has the finer taste. Horn silk tearing bright on the paper in the August sun. Grandma saving every strand when the shucking's done. Said the silk makes the finest kidney tea around. Best old dry beer remedy this county found. Steep it golden in the cup, 10 minutes through. Said drink a cup a day and you'll do. Corn soup tea reed, reed golden in the cup. Corn soup tea reed, nut medicine has the finer taste. Corn silk tea, she'd lay the silk out on the screen to dry. Said the color should stay golden and not die. To brown before you put it in the jar. Said fresh and dry is what the silks are for. Every ear of corn gave up its silk below. Best too much siri dabble us that any garden shows. And steep it golden in the cup, 10 minutes through. Said drink a cup a day and you'll do. Corn soup tea reed, reed golden in the cup. Corn soup tea reed, nut medicine has the finer taste. Nether part you throw away is often what you need. A silkeriness, the hollow dust, the cob all planted seed of a different kind of knowledge that remains about the whole of things beyond the grains. Then they garns up to your reed, nothing going to waste. Oh, dry bear medicine has the finer taste. Oh, dry bear medicine. Oh, dry bear medicine has the finer taste. Oh. Last load of the fodder in the barn on the October day. Everybody gathered when the wagon pulled away from the field for the final time this season clear. Said the harvest end is the best moment of the year. Daddy take his hat off at the barn door wide. Said we made it through another year and signed Fodder Barn Harvest End revive. This last load going in, best Thanksgiving any farming year has been. Fodder Barn Harvest End revive, hit his hat off at the door. Everything we work for is behind us more. Throwing to Black Rabbit old of a street time. The whole family standing in the barn door light. Said the barn is full and we'll be right through the winter with the cattle fed below. Said that feeling is the finest that I know, better than the plant and the summer run. Best moment is the harvest that is done. Fodder Barn Harvest End revive, this last load going in. Best Thanksgiving any farming year has been. Fodder Barn Harvest End revive, hit his hat off at the door. Everything we work for is behind us more. From the first tobacco bed burned in February cold to the last fodder shock brought in from the old field in October is the whole year's arc. Every season making its own mark. Hey! Fodder Barn Harvest End revive, this load going in. Best Thanksgiving any farming year has been. Fodder Barn Harvest End revive, hit his hat off at the door. Everything we work for is behind us more. Homeplace Well in the corner of the yard said it's been drawing water since life was hard and simple, and the two were not the same. Best water from the ground has got a name, called it sweet water. Well, for the taste inside, best mineral balance on this countryside. Homeplace where we love sweet water, cold and clear. Best water this old county's going to hear. Homeplace where we rope and bucket still, drawing from the same place over the hill. Renounced the clouds of towels when the family scattered and the farm was sold. The new words found the well and were told. Said this is the finest water for 40 mile. Kept the well and threw away the new plow file. Grandma went back once to see the place she'd left. said at least they kept the well, and I'm bereft. Homeplace Well, we love sweet water, cold and clear. Best water this old county's going to hear. Homeplace Well, we rope and bucket still, drawing from the same place over the hill. A well outlasts the house that stands beside. The water goes on long after the inside of everything we built has come to ground, said the sweet water well is always found. Homeplace Well, we love sweet water, cold and clear. Best water this old county's going to hear. County's going to Homeplace Well, we rope and bucket still, drawing from the same place over the hill. Biscuit recipe, live in her hands alone. Say the feel of it is something that you've known. When the dough is right, it just holds together, so not too wet and not too dry for the show. She never measured and she never read, just reached in and made the finest bread. Buttermilk Biscuit Secret, hands that know the feel. Best recipe that never had to be revealed. Buttermilk Biscuit Secret, soft and tall and round. Best bread in the county that was ever found. Poplin's to fiction, Lud must be cold, she'd say, and cut it through until the crumbles are the size of the new pea. Gravel and bead no bigger in the flour than the buttermilk, pour slow by the hour. Folded just enough and never overwork, said the biscuit knows when you're about to shirk. Buttermilk Biscuit Secret, hands that know the feel. Best recipe that never had to be revealed. Buttermilk Biscuit Secret, soft and tall and round. Best bread in the county that was ever found. I stood beside her for a dozen years and tried to catch the measurement she always hid inside her wrist and palms and fingertips, said the secret lives inside the grip. Buttermilk Biscuit Secret, hands that know the feel. Best recipe that never had to be revealed. Buttermilk Biscuit Secret, soft and tall and round. Best bread in the county that was ever found. Flashlight on the dewy lawn after the April rain. Best night crawl or a hunting on the county lane. Move slow and grab 'em at the middle clear. Sit too fast and the worm will disappear. Coffee can half full for the midnight run. Best fish and bait under the morning sun. Oh, night crawl or hunting, night crawl, flashlight in the dew. Best bait gathering this county ever knew. Night crawl, hunting, night crawl, coffee can and slow. Everything a fisherman needs to go. Daddy showed me how to move without a shadow. Said the light has to stay ahead and mellow. Never let your feet vibrate the ground. Said the worm will feel you coming round. An hour's work would fill the can complete. Best free bait that any fisher meet. Night crawl, hunting, night crawl, flashlight in the dew. Best bait gathering this county ever knew. Night crawl, hunting, night crawl, coffee can and slow. Everything a fisherman needs to go. The night after the rain is the only time the crawlers come to surface in their climb to the dewy top of the April ground. Best fish in preparation ever found. Night crawl, hunting, night crawl, flashlight in the dew. Best bait gathering this county ever knew. Night crawl, we're on to night crawl, coffee can and slow. Everything a fisherman needs to go. Millstone leaning on the creek bank, going green. Best retired grinding stone this county seen. Said he ran for 60 years without a crack. Then the miller quit and never looked back. Left the stone beside the race to my sober slow. Best tombstone for the mill we'll ever know. Old Grist Stone busty by the creek. Best retired grinder of the grinding streak. Old Grist Stone busty 60 years of corn. Everything the county ate was from this board. Then being still blint, I put my hand against the face one afternoon. Felt the furrows cut to move the flower bloom. Said the quarryman and the miller both put their knowledge into this stone's oath. Every groove a decision someone made about the angle and the depth in the blade. Old Grist Stone busty by the creek. Best retired grinder of the grinding streak. Old Grist Stone busted 60 years of corn. Everything the county ate was from this board. A millstone by a creek is as honest as it gets. 60 years of grinding and no regrets. The stone just wore itself into the past. Said the finest things don't have to always last. Old Grist Stone busty by the creek. Best retired grinder of the grinding streak. Old Grist Stone busty, Old Grist Stone busty 60 years of corn. Everything the county ate was from this board. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The old Homeplace Road in the November clear. Every tree and curve remembering year to year. Said this road was walked before the automobile by the people whose names are in the field. Grandpa pointed out each landmark as we went. Said the road holds everything we represent. Old Homeplace Road, Abadoos, drumming it again. Every curve a chapter and an amen. Old Homeplace Road, Abadoos, trees on either side. County history on a Saturday ride. 70 oaks sit down mark the corner of the old survey. Still standing at the bend the same today. The spring branch crossing at the lower flat, where my grandmother washed her laundry at. Said the road remembers what the people did before the houses and the pavement hit. Old Homeplace Road, Abadoos, driving it again. Every curve a chapter and an amen. Old Homeplace Road, Abadoos, trees on either side. County history on a Saturday ride. Said every road was once a trace and then a path, and before that just the animal on behalf of going where the water and the grazing run. The old Homeplace Road has always begun. Old Homeplace Road, Abadoos, dropping in again. Every curve a chapter and an amen. Old Homeplace Road, Abadoos, trees on either side. County history on a Saturday ride. 4 generations in the August corn together. Grandpa and his son and the grandsons in the weather. Braked his dirt child on the trailer, stacking up the pile. Best family photograph, you'd walk a mile. Said the fodder pulling brought us out the same. 4 generations answering the season's name. Fodder Pulling Family, right loosely foes. 4 generations deep, everything we are is in the harvest we keep. Fodder Pulling Family, our bros, plus row by row we go. 4 different ages working in the glow. Break just drove but set the pace and no one could complain. Said the old man pulls the same as the young plane. Branson tried to race him in the second row. Said the old man beat me to the end and slow. They laughed and passed the water jug between. Best doggiest moment this farm has ever seen. Fodder Pulling Family, right? Rules defaults for generations deep. Everything we are is in the harvest we keep. Fodder Pulling Family, our rows by row we go. 4 different ages working in the glow. When 4 generations work the same old field, something beyond the father is revealed. About the line that runs through every hand, from the oldest to the youngest on this land. Fodder Pulling Family, right? Roosty falls 4 generations deep. Everything we are is in the harvest we keep. Fodder Pulling Family, our rows by row we go. 4 different ages working in the glow. Creek named for what it used to be, back before the highway and the grocery. Every farm its own little prophecy in place. The creek ran cold and clear with the cold embrace. Now it's just a swimming hole for the summer kids. Nobody remembers what the naming did. Slaughterhouse Creek without its name from long ago. History in every county name you know. Slaughterhouse Creek, creek of me ain't swimming hole today. History and the present in the same relay. Compliance of blank hole that Grandpa said he swam there as a boy in June. Said the name meant nothing under the moon to children who just needed somewhere cool. Said the past becomes a present swimming pool. Every county road and creek has got a tale in the naming of the ordinary trail. Slaughterhouse Creek without its name from long ago. History in every county name you know. Slaughterhouse Creek, creek of me ain't swimming hole today. History in the present in the same relay. Place names hold the memory of what was done before the living people under the sun came along and made their different use. The creek keeps running with its different news. Slaughterhouse Creek, of me and swimming hole today. History in the present in the same relay. Play, boom, go. Field Rabbit across the field edge of dawn, sitting in the stubble going on and on. Daddy watching from the gate without a move. Said that rabbit has his morning in the groove. Ears up and the nose working in the air. Best wildlife moment in the county square. Fodder Field Rabbit, head across some stubble in the dawn. Best morning company before the day's begun. Fodder Field Rabbit across the view, sitting in the road, reading the morning like the farmers know. He came back every morning to the same location. Said the stubble field is his favorite station. Finding the overlooked kernels in the fall. Said the rabbit finds what the combine missed it all. Daddy never troubled him in all those years. Said the field has room enough for all its peers. Fodder Field Rabbit, head about some stubble in the dawn. Best morning company before the day's begun. Fodder Field Rabbit across the view, sitting in the road, reading the morning like the farmers know. And the wild things teach you patience without words. The rabbit in the morning and the birds show you how to be present and to still, and find the overlooked grain of any hill. Fodder Field Rabbit, Hit her by some stubble in the dawn. Best morning company before the day's begun. Fodder Field Rabbit or Brasserie sitting in the road, reading the morning like the farmers know. Sweet gumballs on the ground in the November cold. Spiky little weapons from the days of old, kids filling up their pockets by the tree. Best cold weather, ammunition free, 2 forts across the creek, and brothers on each side. Best county battle in any November tried. Sweet gumball wore a dust spiky in the hand. Best November ammunition in the land. Sweet gumball wore a Dutch brothers on the bank, county's finest battle from the sycamore flank. The gumballs didn't hurt if you kept your coat on right. Said it was the principle and not the bite. Establishing the territory clear, best cold November afternoon of year. Brother took one in the ear before the noon, said we'll call a truce and we'll resume. Sweet gumball wore a Dutch spiky in the hand. Best November ammunition in the land. Sweet gumball wore a Dutch brothers on the bank, county's finest battle from a sycamore flank. Every childhood needs its battleground and treaty. It's cold November afternoon and treaty. The sweet gum tree provided both the arms and the eventual peace without any harm. Sweet gumball wore a Dutch spiky in the hand. Best November ammunition in the land. Sweet gumball wore a Dutch brothers on the bank, county's finest battle from the sycamore flank. On the tin roof of the old country church, best percussion section for the sacred search. The preacher had to raise his voice above the sound, said the Lord is in the rain that's coming down. Congregation listening to 2 songs at once, the sermon and the rain and the thunder's runs. If the tin roof gospel and rock always free drop, this preacher and the sky, best to wear this little church heard going by. If the tin roof gospel and rock always preacher and the sky, best to at this little church heard going by. Orange wants a clicking preacher, old Deacon Morris said the tin roof rain is the Lord's own organ on the country plain. Said when the storm comes up in the middle of the word, it's the Lord adding emphasis to what you heard. The congregation said amen to the roof above, said the rain is just another kind of love, just 11. If the tin roof gospel ain't right, always free drops, preacher and the sky, best duet this little church heard going by. They put a metal ceiling in the new church hall, said the tin roof sound was the best of all. The congregation voted for the tin to stay, said the Lord's accompaniment is here to play. The tin roof gospel ain't right, always free drops, preacher and the sky, best duet this little church heard going by. Hayfield Hawk following the mowing trapped around. Best opportunist this hayfield is pound every pass of the cutter flushing out the mice. Said the hawk considers this a paradise. Daddy'd stop the tractor when the hawk came near, said watch him work the field throughout the year. Hayfield Hawk repromising following the cut, best stereo partnership there is and but. Hayfield Hawk repromise for tail on the thermal, best farm helper working on the normal. Since the plum, he'd swoop behind the mower on the Flushing run. Take the voles and mice in the afternoon sun. Never touched the tractor, never interfered. Said the hawk is the smartest thing appeared on this farm in 40 years of mowing. Said the hawk is doing what the hawk is knowing. Hayfield Hawk, rebalancing, following the cut. Best stereo partnership there is and but. Hayfield Hawk, rebalancing for tail on the thermal. Best farm helper working on the normal. Said you never have to call him and you never pay. He shows up when the mowing starts each day. Said some partnerships are made without a word. Just the hawk and the tractor and the bird. Hayfield Hawk, rebalancing, following the cut. Best stereo partnership there is and but. Hayfield Hawk, rebalancing for tail on the thermal. Best farm helper working on the normal.